All right, Todd, thanks very much. After more than 40 years, the Buffalo Teachers Federation now has a new man in charge.
Richard Nigro is replacing longtime leader of the BTF, Phil Remore, who announced his retirement in April. Nigro joins us now to talk more about his new role and his plans for the future. Rich, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So before we talk about your goals and your plans for the future, what drew you to this new role in the first place? Why did you want to run?
I have family in the district. My daughter's a teacher in the district. My wife is. My daughter's got a long career in front of her as a Tier 6 or a teacher, so I wanted to do what I could to ensure that she has a strong union there for her as I did for me in my 25 years.
It took Phil Remore to make the announcement that he was going to be stepping aside and retiring for there to be a viable candidate for the first time in perhaps decades. Obviously, if we went back to the 80s, perhaps a little bit different.
Sure.
But I am curious, you had a mountain in front of you before you knew that he was going to be leaving, and yet you still were going through it. So now that you have this transitional period, and I know you and I were talking before, you're still getting your team together, so we're a little bit scant on specifics, and that's okay at this point. But I am curious how you make that transition. What do you do in that first period to gather the rank and file behind you?
So, well, I think walking into any position, if you're coming in as I am, I mean, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You go and you find out who's there and who does what. You have those conversations. It's not a machine that's completely broken. So I've worked with folks before, and that's what they do. They come in, you set a baseline, and you see what you need to tweak. As far as our team goes, I mean, I have a great group of folks supporting us now. My running mate is fantastic, which is why she and I are together in on this. I've got friends, Brian, and folks who have helped us out throughout this. But we want to involve other membership. And through campaigning, we've had conversations with folks. They've offered their assistance and what way can I help. And those are names that I've taken down because I want to reach out. You have to involve other people. There's 60 schools in the district. And so the best way to get new member involvement, active involvement, is to invite those folks who have ideas or an interest in getting involved and giving them that opportunity.
You mentioned campaigning. There was an initial election and then there was a runoff election. What was that whole process like for you?
It was stressful at times, hectic at times, always challenging, but it was enlightening and encouraging. I mean, folks had a lot to say. We've met with a lot of teachers. I've been in the district for a long time, and I've been around some, so I know a lot of folks. But I met a lot of people that I haven't before, and so I think it's important to listen to their experience and their suggestion. Again, the leadership is just there to kind of steer the ship in the direction that the membership wants or needs. And so we may say what we want to do, what we feel is important, and focus on that, but that is going to be a fluid thing based upon the needs of the membership. Taking
that into consideration, the needs of the membership, and then, of course, the tenure of a guy like Phil Remore, you said before, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't think that this machine right now, as is broken. If it's not broke, let's not fix it. But is this a new era? I mean, are we safe to say that? And the reason I ask you that is because you guys and Phil Remore obviously just helped to negotiate a contract that was a big win for teachers. So is there really going to be that much of a transition or change at the top in this union? Yeah, I suspect so. I mean, Phil's been doing this for a long time. He's got a style of leadership he's crafted over the last 4 decades. Anybody coming in is going to have their own style. Melinda and I collaborate. I've worked with her for a long time. She's the director of the Teacher Center. I've worked there as a facilitator. I've worked with her in the capacity as a coach, an instructional coach. And so I think that notion of collaboration is going to be a thing that is pivotal in our style of leadership. Certainly there's going to be times when the president is going to have to make an executive decision or do things on his own, in this case my own. But I feel that more happens when you involve people. I think better things can happen. More minds on the same problem is going to produce, I think, more answers. Yeah, collaboration is key. You mentioned before you have family in the district now, your daughter and wife. You worked in Buffalo Public Schools for 25 years. How will you apply that to this new role? What will that bring to the table? Well, again, I've worked with, I mean, as an English teacher initially and as an instructional technology coach, I've been all over the district. I've worked with teachers and students from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And 4 years I worked at the Adult Learning Center, so I work with adults and ENL students. And so I think having that knowledge gives me a unique opportunity to have some idea on the challenges that folks face in these different areas. I think that
I mean, it's hard to predict an answer to that question.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever experience we have, we're going to leverage, in that position. I mean, I'll do the same thing depending on what comes up,
Contracts are obviously a big deal. They're a big deal in the media because they're such a big deal for such a large segment of our population, of our community, in terms of teachers and staff and others that are employed by Buffalo schools. But you, as leaders now in the BTF, don't have to focus on a contract. That part has been done. What will that freedom allow you to focus on as leaders kind of moving forward in the BTF?
I think initially we want to be more boots on the ground. We want to get into the buildings. We want to, everybody who is in this, from the teachers to building admins to central office, Board of Education members, food service, custodial staff, engineers, we're all here for the same reason. We're here because of the students that we serve. And so I think that it's important to foster a cooperative relationship with all the stakeholders. And I think if folks are used to seeing us in schools and we're accessible and reachable, I think that could only help us when it does come time to negotiate. And if you're used to cooperating and working with folks, there's going to be negotiations require a give and take. And I don't think that, rarely does something like that go off without a hitch. But I think we all kind of want the same thing. And there's other factors too. I mean, we've had boards in the past that may have been a little bit more challenging to work with, but I think we got a good board now. And again, I think if we focus on that commonality, that one common goal that we all have, that's at least a starting ground. If you've got nothing else in common, you have that. And so you have someplace positive to work from.
All right, well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have this afternoon. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we wish you the best in this new role.
Thank you so much.